Hello, welcome to the 2014 through 2017 BPEA Contract Tentative Agreement. This agreement will last from July 1st, 2014 through June 30th, 2017. All financial agreements made in the contract are retroactive to July 1st, 2014, except for those in Appendix A. This includes your base salary, longevity amounts, and any extra duty pay that used to be factored off of Column A, Step 1. This is, again, with the exception of extra duties found in Appendix A. Those duties will be compensated at the higher rate beginning June 1st, so as to include this session of summer school. Reopeners are allowed in the 2015 and the 2016 school year. This means we will have the ability to negotiate for an increase to our pay and our fringe again in both the 15-16 and the 16-17 school year. All fiscal and language changes will become effective upon the ratification process. In order for our TA to be ratified, it must go through a series of steps. First, it must be approved by the BPEA Board of Directors, which it was on March 5th, 2015. It is then to be approved by the BPEA Representative Council, which it was on March 12th, 2015. From there, it is presented to be approved by the BPEA General Membership. Hopefully, we will be able to get our ballots in and counted by March 19th or March 23rd. 2015. Once the ballots have been counted, if the membership passes the tentative agreement, it will then be scheduled to be approved by the BPUSD School Board at the school board meeting on March 24th, 2015. Once the agreement is passed by both the BPEA as well as the BPUSD School Board, the BPEA negotiations team will begin the survey process in hopes of scheduling dates to negotiate for the 2015-2016 contract later this summer. Article 4, Association Rights. The district agrees that the district and the sites shall designate the second and third Thursdays as meeting free between 3:30 and 5:30 p.m. This is to allow our elected directors to attend the Board of Directors meeting on the second Thursday, and so that our members may attend the Representative Council meetings held on the third Thursdays. The second agreement is that the district and the sites shall not schedule mandatory site-wide events on the third Thursday of each month. Examples of these events include things like back-to-school night, open house, and parent conferences. This change prevents the district from scheduling those mandatory events on the day of Rep Council so that all of our members may attend if they so choose. Non-mandatory events can still be scheduled on these nights after 5:30 p.m. Examples of these events are the ones where the member is not obligated to attend. Things like the Multicultural Fair or the District Spelling Bee are good examples of non-mandatory events. Article 6, Salaries. The first part of this agreement is that the period subrate will move to Column C, Step 1, instead of the current Column A, Step 1. This is important to us because it means that the district will finally be compensating us at the rate that they would compensate a teacher they would actually consider hiring for a full-time opening under normal circumstances. Our new hourly rate will be $38.03 instead of the current $35.66. In addition, the agreement was made that North Park teachers will receive the period sub rate when subbing students during their prep. Students who are farmed out or who are taken into a class because no sub is available will be compensated at the C1 rate instead of the A1 rate. That means that each student put into a class will be worth $6.34 instead of the current $5.94. At North Park, when students must be added into a class period, the rate of that student will become 91 cents instead of the current 85 cents. In the event of summer training, the new compensation rate will be at C1 instead of the current A1. This means that the daily summer training rate will be $173.44, up from the current $162.64. If the summer training is on an hourly basis, then the $173.44 would be divided by a factor of 8. Changes to Appendix A, Extra Duty and Miscellaneous Pay Schedule, will become effective on June 1st, 2015. This is the appendix found at the back of your contract, and it covers things such as athletic coaching, department chairs, and extra duties around band, music, drama, and journalism. The reason it is going to become effective on June 1st, 2015 is to allow for the 2015 summer school session to be paid at the higher C1 rate instead of the current A1 rate. This means that our daily pay will become $190.13 instead of the current $178.29 daily. Changes to Appendix C, the 2014 through 15 K through 12 Teachers' Salary Schedule. This salary schedule affects employees who are employed for 184 to 186 workdays. Unit members who work a longer year will have their salary based off of these amounts. This is considered the base salary for the BPEA unit. These amounts will become effective upon ratification, retroactively back to July 1st, 2014. This means that the district is going to have to go back to our very first paycheck and pay everybody the difference between the two rates. For our column E, step 12 members, the 2.5% salary increase will raise your yearly pay from $85,310 to the current $87,443. This is an increase of over $2,100. Additional changes to Appendix C will include the anniversary increments. These anniversary increments are based off of your time spent and employed by the Baldwin Park Unified School District. Any years of service that you transferred in from another district does not count towards these anniversary increments. These are bonuses that are paid based off of the amount of time you have served in Baldwin Park Unified School District. These anniversary increments will be increased by 82%. These increases will be retroactive to July 1st, 2014. If you qualify for one of these anniversary increments, the district will have to go back to the very first paycheck and readjust all of your amounts to reflect the new higher rate. In addition, in order to minimize confusion, we have changed the wording of the anniversary increment to start at the 10th, 15th, 20th, 25th, and 30th year of service in BPUSD. Perhaps the most important language within Appendix C is that effective July 1st, 2015, any uniform increase to the base salary schedule will also be applied to the anniversary increments. This means that the anniversary rates will rise with the scale. As an employee spends more and more time within BPUSD, the amount of these anniversary increments will continue to rise, instead of remaining stagnant as they have over the last 20 years. In order to explain the effect that the 2.5% raise is going to have on our salary scale, we'll look at the highest of our step and column amounts, the E12. In December of 2013, the E12 column rate was $83,637. After the 2% raise was passed last year, that amount rose to $85,310. Our newest agreement would move the E12 amount up 2.5% above that to $87,443. This amount would be retroactively paid to July of 2014. What we see on our scale is in the 7 months from December of 2013 to July of 2014, we've added $3,806 to the E12 salary. This reflects a 4.55% increase in overall dollars on the salary scale. All of the other step and column amounts have also undergone a similar 4.55% increase across the board. These changes to Appendix C will have a dramatic effect on the maximum salary scale amount. The maximum salary scale is determined by taking the highest step and column, which for us in Baldwin Park Unified is the E12 amount, and adding to it the highest of the longevity amounts, which for us is year 30 longevity. In December of 2013, the maximum salary for our district was $87,277. After the passage of last year's 2%, that amount rose in January of 2014 to $88,950. With the changes to the longevity, combined with the 2.5% raise for this year, our maximum salary for those members at E12 with 30 years or more service in Baldwin Park Unified School District jumps to $94,068. This allows for our people closest to retirement to have better final years of pay in order to determine their retirement income. This change in max salary in the 7 months from December of 2013 through July of 2014 is a change of $6,791, which reflects a 7.78% overall increase in pay. The BPEA contract has some unique language surrounding our E12 salary, which guarantees that we will always be in the top quartile of the surrounding unified school districts. There are currently 45 similar districts to us, and we place 6th out of those 45 districts. Because we are 6th out of 45, we are securely within that uppermost quartile. Because we're securely in that uppermost quartile, BPEA knew that the district would not have a huge reason to give an enormous amount of salary scale raises. Therefore, our focus turned to a different statistic instead, the career path earnings. The career path tracks how much a member would make over the course of their career if they stayed within that school district. What is nice about the career path earnings is that it compares apples to apples amongst all of the unified school district salary schedules. The way that career path works is it assumes that you are hired with a bachelor's degree and are starting your career at column A, step 1. For every year of service, you would then move down 1 step, and the model assumes that you earn 4 units per year towards your master's degree or continuing education. As you go through a 30-year career, you increase in your step, and as you acquire the appropriate amount of units, you would increase in your column. When we did this calculation, what we found was that the Baldwin Park Unified School District career path paid $200,000 to $300,000 less over the course of a career than the top earning districts. This put us 42nd out of 45 similar districts. The assumption would be, if we have language that makes us in the top quartile at our maximum salary scale amount of E12, that over our career we would also be one of the highest earning districts. But what BPUSD does not do is it does not have a longevity that is robust enough to continue keeping us in that upper level. The longevity in our contract had not changed in 20 plus years. So the surrounding districts were seeing their career path earnings rise, while ours were dropping off due to that longevity stagnation. Because of this, BPEA decided that our goal would be to move our earnings for the career path to the middle of the pack and to try to provide language that would guarantee future increases for our younger members. The trade-off would be that the members closer to retirement, who have less time to close that gap, would initially see a higher overall change in dollars because of the longevity raises. But over the course of a 30-year career, younger members would have more time to recuperate that $200,000 to $300,000 that our members closer to retirement have already lost. The change to Appendix H was done to reflect the new fringe benefit allotment amount. The new amount is currently $8,604.04, up from the old $8,400 amount. This reflects the contractual COLA adjustment of 0.85% that was given in the 2014-15 school year. This new amount does not include the $140 shortened plan year settlement that BPEA was able to get based off of a grievance they filed on all of their members' behalf for $700 worth of fringe benefit money that the district did not give during the 2012-13 school year. The 2015-2016 COLA adjustment is currently estimated at 1.58%. This means that the estimated 2015-16 fringe benefit allotment will come in at $8,739.98. This does not include the $280 shortened plan year settlement. In 2016-17, we will also have another year of an additional $280 due to that shortened plan year settlement. This agreement also has non-fiscal changes to articles as well. Article 8, Hours and Conditions of Work, had many changes made to it. The first change was that the recommended workday schedule will now be distributed by district email as well as a hard copy at all the sites. The recommended workday schedule is the letter that should be passed out to everybody during the first week of school to inform you of your start and end times. Another change is that the administrator at each site will select 2 additional days per month to the second and third Thursdays as after-school meeting-free dates. During those 2 additional days, your site administrator cannot schedule any mandatory meetings after school. One of our biggest battles during this round of negotiation was over the secondary professional period. The district had a laundry list of duties that they wanted enumerated in the language, which would basically force our secondary members to work an additional hour a day. The scariest of all of those clauses was the one that said other duties as determined by the administration. The BPEA negotiation team told the district that they absolutely would not entertain any changes to the definition of the professional period. The change that the district and BPEA agreed to was to restate the language that currently exists within the contract in order to give the employees the ability to hold regular or special meetings during their prep period by mutual consent of all affected members and the site administrator. What this means is that if one person does not want to meet, they cannot be forced to meet during their professional period. For the elementary school, because there is only one professional period per week, the BPEA negotiations team changed the language to state that regular or special meetings will not be held at the elementary sites unless by mutual consent of all affected members and the site administration. Additional language was agreed to under hours and conditions of work for the non-regular workday schedules. The first agreement was that on minimum days, the teacher workday would end 10 minutes after the release of students. If all of your professional duties are completed, you will be able to leave campus on these minimum days 10 minutes after the students. The exception to this is the minimum day held at the high schools for senior boards. On those days, your workday does not end until 3 p.m. For minimum days where there is an evening event scheduled, the teachers will be dismissed at 12:30 and will be expected to return to campus 30 minutes prior to the event. An example of one of these types of days would be back to school night or the open houses at the high school. During these days, the employee would be dismissed at 12:30, but would be expected back 30 minutes before the opening of the event. The middle and junior high shortened days for parent conferences will see the students dismissed at 11:35 and conferences held from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. This will extend the lunch break and give these middle and junior high school teachers some time to be able to prepare for parents coming in, either for the traditional parent conferences or for student-led conferences. Finally, on shortened days, the professional development days that we see at the elementary schools, these professional development topics will be determined at the site between the leadership team and the site administration. BPEA is hopeful that by putting the professional development in the hands of the members at the site, those shortened days will become more meaningful and will actually be an advantage to our members. In the event that state regulations dictate that a topic be done during one of these shortened days, the regulation would take precedence over this contractual language. The one piece of non-contractual language that BPEA agreed to centers around the Special Education Department's release time. As our members know, the amount of testing and paperwork and monitoring of special education students has increased dramatically over the last few years. This has put increased stress and pressure on our special education unit members as they try to take care of all the responsibilities for their caseloads of 28 students. In addition to the special education requirements, our caseload carriers are also teaching classes. Even though we were not able to get the secondary conference period, what we were able to do is we were able to double the amount of time for double the amount of time that we have been able to get for the special education teachers over the last few years. The new MOU states that in the 2015-16 school year, as well as the 2016-17 school year, the secondary education classroom teachers and the elementary education SDC classroom teachers will be given 10 days worth of release time in order to do assessments and IEP meetings. As it has in the past, these dates exclude SLPs as well as the elementary RSP teachers who are doing pull-out programs. Additionally, for the 2015-16 and the 2016-17 school years, the preschool-aged special education teachers will be given 5 days worth of release time to allow for the initial IEP meetings of the preschool-aged children who are referred to the speech clinics. This reflects a doubling from the previous 5 days allotted, and instead of having to negotiate this time year to year, the district agreed that they were willing to do it for 2 years. Another long-standing issue that we were able to get the district to come to some sort of consensus on surrounds Article 11, assignments, reassignments, and transfers. BPEA has always had a problem with the way that vacancies have been distributed or made known by the district. The district agreed that vacancies will now be distributed via district email on a year-round basis. The district also agreed that any member applying for a lateral move will not need to provide transcripts in order to be considered for that job. The district also agreed that members who are applying for an administration position, a resource teacher position, or a teacher on special assignment only need transcripts if the job is flown and posted for 10 days or longer. Any job that is posted for less than 10 days will not require transcripts in order for a member to be considered for an interview for that job. Finally, one of the biggest concerns that we've had centers around the members who would like to transfer to another opportunity within the district during the middle of the school year. In the past, the district has always refused to allow members who are currently in a classroom to take any of these positions at other schools or within other grade levels because of their fear of how the bumping effect would take place. If a member moves from a 4th grade classroom to a 6th grade classroom at a different site, then now the district would have that 4th grade classroom to have to fill. So what we were able to compromise on is that any mid-year vacancy will now allow our active members to submit an application and be approved for that position, but the district will have the option of either allowing them to move immediately or reserving that position for them to begin at the next school year. This would be based on the operational needs of the district and in order to minimize the amount of disruption for our students during the school year. BPEA and the district agreed to a small change for Article 14, Professional Growth and Development. Currently, there is a district-wide professional development standing committee that is supposed to meet on a regular basis to determine the type of professional development that should be given to our unit members. The language change now will reflect that that professional development standing committee will meet as needed. The hope is that because this allows for more flexibility, the professional development committee will meet more often so as to be a better service to our members and the district. Article 18, the safety article, also surrounds the district-wide standing committee, this time the Standing Committee for Safety Concerns. The language change is that now this district-wide safety committee will schedule at mutually agreeable times for all of the parties involved in the committee. It is our hope that this change will allow the safety committee to meet often and to address the concerns of all members of all unions at all sites so that we can have a safe and comforting environment not only to work but also to educate in. The final change to the contract is in Article 19, Shared Decision Making. Shared decision making is a now defunct leadership model that was adopted many years ago and is currently outdated. The change that was made to this article was to modify the language in order to reflect the current practice of collaboration and input from unit members in certain areas at the site and at the district levels. Basically, what we are now doing is taking shared decision making from a proper noun and turning it into a verb. This will allow for our members to have the opportunity to give input both at the site and the district and to share their expertise and knowledge of the needs of the students and the community so that decisions that are made at the school sites will hopefully reflect those important pieces of knowledge. We wanted to make sure that our members have a voice at the sites and have the ability to make the needed changes to best reflect their needs as professionals and our students' needs as our clients. Thank you for your time and for learning about our new tentative agreement. Your site representative will be able to give you a ballot and they will ask you to vote to either accept or reject this tentative agreement. You will have the ability to refer to our most recent bargaining update email for the actual contract language if you'd like, or you can ask your site rep for a copy of their copy. Once you feel comfortable, you will vote and make sure that you return your ballot to your site rep. Once the ballots from all the sites are collected and counted, an approved TA will be presented for approval from the school board. If the membership rejects this TA, the school board will be informed that we have no deal and negotiations would begin again. At that point, if negotiations begin again, all elements of this TA will not exist. So the 2.5%, the changes to the longevity, the changes from C1, and the language changes would revert to the previous contractual status quo. If the tentative agreement is approved by the membership and the school board, the payroll department will begin the lengthy process of doing all of the retro pay calculations. Hopefully, we'll have enough time for them to do all of the calculations from July 1st, 2014 through March 31st of 2015 by May 25th so that we can get our retro checks prior to the beginning of the summer break. All of the work done from April 1st, 2015 through the end of the year would be compensated at the newly approved rates and would not be part of your retro check. If you have any additional questions or concerns that your site representative cannot answer to your satisfaction, please feel free to contact Chief Negotiator Andrea Grimm at negotiations@bpea.org. We'll do our very best to get you the answers you need as quickly as possible. The BPEA negotiations team appreciates the opportunity to work for you on your behalf and wants to thank you again for the trust you have placed in them. We are very hopeful that this new agreement has elements that will work for you to your benefit. Please keep an eye out for the upcoming 2015-16 school year bargaining survey. This will allow us to open, salary, fringe, and 2 additional articles. Your input is critical so that the board of directors may give appropriate direction to the negotiation team.